In our quest to unlock the hover pack today, we will need to unlock the penultimate space elevator tier. So in order to do that, we need to build the modular engines, adaptive control units, and the versatile framework, which is only possible because we built this plastic and rubber factory producing 3,600 rubber and plastic per minute. And yes, I'm happy to say it is now working. Also, I wanted to address the elephant that would be in the room. I haven't really spoken about this, but this was our original starter factory. But because it was built pre-Lumin, it would require a lot of work lighting up all of this. And I decided it would actually be better to tear it down. And the reason I thought that was because I built it out of blueprints. The only problem is that one of my hard drives died, which had all of my older saves on it. And so I lost the whole process of turning this factory into this factory. And to be honest, I'm not happy with it because of the shape. It makes it very difficult to build in, but I've got so far into it that there's not really any point in stopping. The good news is it's producing everything that we need, from iron and copper to steel and various other items. And I'm happy with the production floors, it's just not the shape that I'm looking for. Which brings us to today's build, where we're going to be building, first and foremost, the space elevator parts. So let's quickly place down one of these and have a look. So we have versatile framework being produced in a temporary factory downstairs. And then we have the adaptive control units, which need the heavy modular frames, circuit boards, computers, and automated wiring. We're actually producing the circuit boards, the computers, and the heavy modular frames here, but we will need to get automated wiring set up. And finally, we have the modular engine, which requires rubber, which we're producing. We'll need smart plating set up as well, and we're already producing the motors. So the first thing that I've done is added these pillars along the side of the signs. This is just to give them a bit more depth when it comes to the lighting, but I've also run all of our power up along here. I'm going to start with doing the manufacturers for our modular engines, and I want them at the front here. Now I am trying to unlock the next space elevator tier as quickly as possible because I do want to get a move on prior to 1.0. I've set myself the target of doing nuclear power before then, and we've only got a couple of months, and I take a lot of time just decorating. So for the next few episodes, I'm probably going to spend more time just getting the production lines on the go so that we have the resources for nuclear power, and then after that, we'll start refining the save prior to 1.0. I'm going to get these running, and then I'll start doing the logistics on the floor below so that this floor is really clean. I only want the production of the items that we haven't already got being produced on this floor. And then the other thing is the rubber, and I'm gonna have to get rubber up here somehow. This is our train station, and I have a little bit of a concern. I think we may need to expand on this because we only have 4 trains and they're all bringing resources in at the moment. But I think if we take the station that is here and we'll replace whatever items are in there with the rubber, we can have the rubber run along top of this, then we'll bring it up to the logistics floor beneath. Okay, quick update. So we now have our modular engines being produced, and we have 449, so we're just 51 shy of that. And over here in that little facility there, we have produced all of our versatile framework, which leaves us with the adaptive control units. You can see we have our manufacturer here. We just need to bring in the computers and the circuit boards. I've already got the heavy modular frames. I'll show you the underfloor in a moment. And then the automated wiring we need to produce here. We have the stators. The problem is the cable. Unfortunately, we've not got enough copper coming through. But I was thinking, seeing as I've stupidly brought up all of the rubber for some reason, and we also have a lot of Caterium being sent, I think we could probably use the fused quickwire alternate recipe along with the alternate quickwire cable so that we're using mainly the Caterium and the rubber that we have lots of to produce the small amount of cable that we need here. And if we just pop down to the logistics floor, you can see we've got plenty of resources all prepped. This is what I'm talking about. Why did I bring up all of these? I have no idea, but I will bring the computers and the circuit boards from there. And the other thing I should quickly mention is this. Unfortunately, this facility has never run at full capacity because all of the resources were coming from a single train station. The problem was, with lots of different trains coming in and dropping off all their ores, this train station was never unloading the resources because it was constantly in the unload animation for the trains. So, to stop that being an issue and to increase throughput, I have started building another train station here, each one dedicated to its own resources, which then feed all of these, and so far it is working much more efficiently, which means later on we're going to be able to send the resources to the floors in front of us so that we can produce things like supercomputers or the stuff that we need to unlock nuclear power. But now that I've explained all of that, I will get the adaptive control units running, and then we'll send off the space elevator and get started on aluminium. That is the big one for this video. I'm sorry we're going quite quickly through this, I think, but if you'd like us to do longer Let's Play episodes, which really break down what we're doing for our 1.0 playthrough, please do let me know in the comments below. The facility is running, so we're turning Caterium ingots into wire and then using the wire and rubber recipe to turn it into, I think it's insulated cable, to produce the automated wiring to then go into the adaptive control units. And we're about 50 units in, so we still have about 50 minutes worth of work ahead of us while we wait. So whilst we wait for that to be produced, I'm going to get started on the aluminium facility. For that, we're going to need bauxite, and the nearest one just so happens to be above our rail network. So I was thinking, if we build the facility on this little outcrop, this plateau here, we can bring a train from the train station below, which is providing us with our silica and quartz, all of which is being produced at the cave factory here. And we'll use the excess silica along with the excess coal here once we upgrade our lines to help refine that aluminium. I'm going to start off with getting the ramp built, bringing the train all the way along here, and we'll place the train station there, thinking about it, because we'll need to transfer the silica across. Then maybe a little bit higher, about this height, we'll bring the train around and the train can stop here. Yeah, that works. Need to get some more resources. Although that's perfect because we can check on how our adaptive control units are doing and maybe send off the space elevator. We are back up here. Hopefully this will be the last time we need to be up here for a while. Yes, with 60. Oh, and we've got some more coming through. So we'll be able to unlock that right now. All right, we'll put them in there. Seal, send. Oh, wow. This will probably be the last space elevator we send off until 1.0. Never gets old. Returning to the hub, we have tier 7 and 8 now available for us. So we have bauxite refinement. This is the first thing that we need to unlock. The hover pack is the other thing that's a priority, and with that, logistics Mark 5 as well. So we get those conveyor belts, and then onwards to nuclear power. And then if we do get chance, then obviously we'd be looking at particle enrichment so that we could recycle it, but I can't make any promises about that one. So let's unlock bauxite refinement, and just before we do that, the hover pack we're going to need 50 more heavy modular frames, but also 200 alclad aluminium sheets and another 100. Right, okay. What we can do is we can send this off, head to the awesome sink, grab what points we have, which is more than enough. Check out the awesome shop, and from here we're going to buy some aluminium sheets. So we'll buy 2 lots. That way we should have enough to buy build a hover pack as well once we have that unlocked. So the pod has just returned, which means finally, after those 10 minutes, we can put in our resources for the hover pack, and I'm at the same time going to unlock the logistics Mark 5, and we can send these both off together. So we just need to click that, and now unlocked the hover pack, I can quickly build 2. 2. I only need 1. This is going to make building so much easier. Let's get on to the aluminium plant. So the good news is that power is transported over the rails. So as long as we have rails that are connected to the main network, we can hover. Which is going to make life so much easier for us. So the idea is that these two will connect together and we will have a train station over here. Actually, we might need to push it back a bit more because we're going to need silica, and I think we also need copper as well. But for now, I wanted to get started on building out the base here. So we're going to run it up to here, and then this section is where our aluminium plant will be. We'll grab the bauxite from the top and the water from along here. And right now, we are just working out the space for this. So I thought we'd have our refineries in this section. And then above here, this is where we'll actually have the production. I really want to spend a bit of time decorating this. Probably starting off down here, have this as a kind of entrance point. Things have progressed. So we now have the 2 stations at the top. The train that you can see going in at the moment is delivering silica and also copper. Thankfully, we had this copper node close by, so I didn't actually need to find copper from anywhere else. And the other thing is we needed coal. So at the moment, I'm grabbing excess coal from the coal power plant here, but until we're producing aluminium and we have those alclad aluminum sheets being produced, I'm not going to have enough coal really to run this plant constantly. But as soon as we do have those sheets, we can upgrade the whole network and it will be fine. But the coal train is taking it all the way down to there. Sweet, and dropping it off. And then of course we have the aluminium plant. I've only put the refineries there because I wanted to bring the water in and the bauxite to have an idea as to how we're going to run it. And that's ready to go pretty much. However, we will have to balance that water. Speaking of, I should also very quickly show you how we're getting the water down there, which is from this pipeline that wraps around into the little lake leading to this waterfall. Obviously, we need to add supports and bulk this up a little bit. But the important thing is that the water extractors are there, they're working, and they're neatly tucked away. We can clean this all up at a later stage. And of course, we won't be running any aluminium or aluminum plant without the bauxite extractor there, which is then running the bauxite down into these 2 refineries and producing alumina solution. Now, the next thing that I want to do is run all of the power along these pillars. We're going to need to get the coal here, and we're also going to have to do something with the silica. Over here, I've added just a little conveyor line which goes up, and I really like the idea of being able to see the resources. And then we have this ramp above, and I was thinking of maybe running a wall up alongside it. Do something like this. Then we can color the center whichever color we want. So for example, blue. I think that looks really nice. So I'm going to play with this a little bit more, and we can also then expand this as well. So once I've worked out that kind of entrance and also worked out how we're bringing the resources around, we're going to have to place the foundries, I think, here, and then of course the assemblers a little bit further back, I think. And here we are with the basic working facility. It's pretty small, but it's producing everything that we need. The aluminium alclad sheets and the aluminum casing as well. So you can see we are doing the loading of the copper ingots below, and then we have the overflow storage just at the end here, with all the overflow going onto a merging belt for any excess silica to the awesome sink. The other thing, really quickly, just wanted to show you, the water is fine. It's not filling up and causing this to seize up. We'll leave this running while we decorate the factory and just check that this isn't gonna be a problem. Okay, next, I guess we should start decorating. And that starts with the entrance, and then all of this. I'll be honest, this has come along a lot. I'm pretty happy with it, though I think I'll parallel the other side of this section of the build. And we're now working on the foyer and the storage area, and I really want the lighting to look great in this, so we're going to spend a bit of time getting this right. I'm actually really pleasantly surprised at how this has turned out as a single wall. I will probably look at doing something like this, layering walls and then beams to create supports in the future. But I feel that the way we've layered these different pieces together and then added lighting looks really good. And though it can be improved, I'm pretty happy with how it looks. I've also added a slotted ceiling for the entrance, and I really like the pink trees around here. But going into the main foyer, we'll need to redecorate this and have some kind of grand focal point here. I'm also playing around with different shapes, and I'm really happy with the wall grates that we have here, and I think we'll probably try and match this in other sections of the factory too. I've also added supports and struts along the cliff side to make it look a bit more structured, and I'm in two minds with the window design. I really like them, but I'm not sure they work for this. We now have a ceiling. We are just using our blueprint, the double foundation ceiling light. Works fantastic for pretty much any factory, so that's been a huge help here. And then we've added supports on the outside, and these are just signs on the reverse side. Oh, I should also mention we've done this. This is the original light strip that we have, and then I've built into it the beams. Then we have the storage area. We're still playing about with this, and I'm actually playing around with the wall design here. I think what we'll probably do is run just the basic 1 meter wall. I prefer using the 1 meter to the 4 meter. The material looks better in my opinion. I'm also letting this build itself. I'm being quite free in the process, just building the skeletal pieces, then fleshing it out as we go. But I do feel we need some kind of statement piece in this little top section above the entrance here. I've now walled off the storage area. I feel I'm jumping about a little bit, so I do apologize for that, but I'm just doing bits here and there as I see fit. If we clip through this, it won't necessarily look like we're clipping items, because it will stop the item just before. Yeah, there, oh, I like that. So we'll run that down into there. Then, what if we add these pieces, then change that maybe to a gray, and then place those here. Oh, I like that. I wanted to show you this. So here we're using the glossy, oh no we're not, I want it to be glossy though, a glossy black wall. It's very simple. I just think it's another material that just makes the factory stand out that little bit more. And I'm going to run this all down the centerpiece here. That looks amazing. And as you can see, we've played around with the grating at the side here. I think we're going to bring the walls up in that kind of grating look in a moment as well. And the other thing is I've added some of the lighting on the outside here. It's not quite finished, but I'm pretty happy with how it's looking. It's a lot more futuristic now. Before it was feeling as if it was more gothic, like it was becoming a cathedral, which there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't think it fit the build. And I'm gonna toot my horn a little bit here and just say that that looks amazing. I really love this little strip that curves around. It was also really simple to do. It's just the signs, and then we have a gradient on the top two going from yellow through to orange, and then that reddy pink color, and then underneath it's just the glossy black signs again. And the other thing that I want to do here is play around with the upside down lighting section that you can see on the bottom, and turning that into a feature, making it feel more like the roof of a build, and maybe do some just decoration with mergers and splitters and doing some clipping to make them look like air conditioning units and pipes on top, but that will come a little later. Returning to these grates, I've used one of our previous blueprints for this, then I've just clipped two together, but I'm really happy with how that looks. And I thought maybe the idea would be to individually place walls like this heading up into this grate. So I'll do that all the way along. I'm really happy with how the grated or slotted wall looks, but it was taking a long time. So what I've done is created a blueprint, which is the whole wall, and all I need to do is get it in the right position, like so. The next thing that I want to do is just around the other side. And the first thing that I'm doing is layering these concrete pillars, and then I am painting them this black swatch. And what we've done to make it so dark is we've set this code to -10. And the other thing that I want to do here is to grab some walls. I'm just going to place them and cover up so that we don't get any Z fighting. Then we'll also do another wall here, and I think I can run something like a half coated foundation, like a metal plate, and then I'll add signs along here to make it just pop that little bit more. Having finished off everything else, the last thing that I want to do is some decoration here. As I was saying, the kind of air conditioning units just on top. I'm gonna grab this and I'm gonna just nudge this over the top, and I think the other one go from here. This section, if we pull it across, move that, then grab a pipe, run that into there, and there we go. Right, let's review the build. And here we are. I have to say, I am really impressed with the build overall. There's a little bit of Z fighting. I might try and find a solution to that, but we've added the beams across the top to border, and it's a double beam border, and then we've painted that black, and I just think it looks like such a sleek build. I'm really pleased with how this has turned out, and I'm looking forward to bringing a lot of these techniques into my 1.0 playthrough as well. In terms of the outside architecture, that is what we've got, and then we'll head in now and show you that. On the inside, we've added some strip lighting across the top beams up there. We've also decided to window in all of the resources, including the section behind. And we now have supports in the center just because it looked so empty when we first had this section built. I've also added a walkway all the way around the outside of the refineries, which meets up over at the storage area as well. And I've also tried to avoid covering everything with light. I like that we have the normal signs alongside also at the top the actual ceiling lights, and how we've got shadows and light bouncing off the different areas, followed by our little foundry area and awesome sink. And I think it works really well with the orange strip lighting just above and the little highlight of green in the corner. I've also played along with the lighting and the signs here as well, and playing about also with the different textures on the wall. So all in all, really happy with how this build has turned out. The only thing is we haven't been able to connect this to the storage area, and so we have to come here every time that I want aluminium, but perhaps once we have drones that will be made much easier. But guys, we're going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do hit the thumbs up, and if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. We'll be starting a brand new Let's Play series come 1.0 in just a matter of weeks. But until next time, special thanks does go to all of our amazing supporters on Patreon, most notably our Totalxclipse Patreon, Firefless, as well as our Lunas, the Calamity, Ben and Star, and our Blood Moon of the day, which today is Dr. Shotgun. Until next time, as always, ciao for now.